At your work, what is the office secret everybody knows? About 30% of us basically get paid to watch YouTube or read news because our job responsibilities can usually be fulfilled within a couple hours. My job is long stretches of complete boredom mixed in with the occasional frantic rush of actually doing things. I work really fast so I can get back to Reddit. A certain girl got plastered at our senior seller dinner and ducked a co-worker. 3 days after her wedding. And 9 months before she gave birth to her baby boy. I'd be sweating bullets if I were the co-worker. The 15-30 minute breakfast break is not officially allowed. But no one cares. Because it significantly raises productivity. Everyone in my office does this. 2. Just about half of the staff here goes down to the grill or coffee shop first thing every day. That one of our red techs is actually a LVL1 but he thinks he's still a LVL0, service request technician. We don't want to tell him so we don't have to give him access to certain things because he sucks. Edit. Wow guys, I did not expect this to blow up like it did. Thanks. I work at Lowe's and one night the only 2 people working the paint desk left and had 6 in the stock room. There was a huge line of customers that kept asking for help and no one else knew how to mix paint. 30 minutes later they came back but left the used condom in the bag. To make it worse, she was dating someone else from work at the time. That our boss is cheating on his wife with at least one intern. Neither of them know we all know what's going on. My wife worked in an office one time where everyone was positive that the boss was giving it to his 21-year-old assistant. And then my wife caught the assistant and her boss's wife joined the do at a Christmas party. The custodian is a still pigeon. Our boss has that Malcolm Forbes quote hanging from his office wall. You can easily judge the character of a man by how he treats those who can do nothing for him. When downsizing begins, it's always the workers who are too snooty to make small talk with the custodian that are the first to be let go. The company directors and senior management all took themselves on a management holiday to another country a couple of years ago under the guise of a customer meeting. First class flights. 5-star hotel. Restaurant meals every night. All at company expense. While none of their staff had a pay rise for years. Various projects were failing and so forth. They staggered their returns to work to make it look like they just coincidentally were on overlapping holidays. That's how ducking stupid they think the staff are. All of them are still directors managers at the company and still run it like their own little fiefdom. Thankfully I'm just a third-party contractor doing all of their IT systems and support. Oh, and one of the director's partner was recently made a director. This is after only 5 years with the company where they previously worked in a bar and joined as a departmental assistant. Funny how shagging the right person can get you far. The HR manager is having an affair with the head of sales. They were spotted getting it on at the Christmas party. And have been seen together in hotels since. Everyone talks about it. But they think they are being very secretive. Oh man. I have 2 people at work like that now. Both are managers. Both are divorced. They are doing nothing wrong. But are acting like they are committing some sort of depraved crime. They think they are being so secretive about their relationship. And hide it like they are doing something totally wrong. Most people know. Because they are purposefully dropping clues. But people either don't care. Or don't want to give them the satisfaction of outed them. We literally have a policy in our employee code that explicitly states the company does not have a rule against employees dating. Nor a policy about respectfully asking out other employees on dates. CEO's new wife is a gold digger who despises him and just got married for her promotion. Sigh, I've done work in those households. She's in for a shock. It will not go according to plan. Spoiler alert, so much misery. For both of them. Oh. So many. A major fashion label. At least 2 people. One very senior. Did porn. The president. CFO and senior directors were complicit in an embezzlement scheme that could have landed them in jail. Except for the bad publicity it would have caused, their combined payoffs were in the 8-figure region. One of the senior directors started as an intern and worked her way to senior director, including a long-standing secret affair with the vice president. One director is expecting 2 kids this year. One by his wife and one by a junior member of staff he ducked at an office party. We have this one really old lady who's been working with us for years. Almost every night we see her taking a pen and putting it in her bag, as she leaves with a triumphant smile on her face. Everyone knows about it, but no one dares to say anything to her. We all think it's adorable because we know she's just trying to feel young again. A man who worked at a stable would leave every day with a wheelbarrow full of hay. There was a security guard who would get suspicious and always check that he wasn't hiding something underneath the hay. He never found anything, and wasn't concerned about letting a little hay slip out every day. This goes on for years until the man retires and has a party at his house for all his old co-workers. The security guard goes up to him and says, "So what did you do with all that hay you used to take?" The man says, "Nothing. I was stealing wheelbarrows." That Tim is jumping ship. Well, everyone except the boss, that is. He got another job lined up a week or so ago and is waiting until exactly 2 weeks from his start date there to give his notice. Our boss does site visits for hotels just so she can get complimentary night stays. Not cause she is interested in holding events there. We all know that. But she thinks we don't. That our security cameras don't work. It's a bar. We do a lot of illegal gambling and boss doesn't want it on camera. But everyone knows, so we get robbed regularly, after hours. We've been hit twice in the past couple months. Sounds like the bar needs more late night muscle security. Our boss stole $100 million from FEMA in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. Whenever we get a new hire, while training them, someone always quietly tells them to Google her when they get home. Is this person in jail? I hope so. Nope. Her sentence was to pay back $350,000 out of $100 million. A girl at my last corporate gig blew 3 guys. I stopped counting at 3 in the bathroom of the bar we had rented out for the evening. Poor girl. Really pretty. Just low self-esteem, I suppose. After that they had to move her from right behind reception to a hidden corner by HR because people kept walking by her desk, ogling, snickering. Wasn't very nice at all. Incidentally, 2 of the guys she fellated were married with children. It was then I realized I was a bit more mature than I used to be. Old me would have been one of the ogler snickerers. This me was like, why the duck aren't they walking by the guys' desks and laughing, mocking them? We all work it. Co-worker got his cousin pregnant. She's keeping it. Everyone in the building knows because she can't keep anything to herself. He's married with 4 kids. He's so ducked. A certain 4th grade teacher and the principal were in the closet making babies and I saw one of the babies and the baby looked at me. Everybody knows I do a gaming channel with my 5-year-old son now. Never leave your workstation computer unlocked, ladies and gentlemen, and close your tabs before lunch. A large majority of the middle management in my division of the company I work for are a bunch of raging alcoholics. Arrive to work by 10 in the morning. Depart for the bar by noon. Return to office around 6 to gather their things and presumably head back to the bar. This is every day. Obligatory, not mine but someone I know. There are 2 middle-aged people in their office that hooked up after a business trip. Thing is, they each are married to other people, of course, and now they're behaving like school children with crushes at work. They are abysmal at hiding what they're doing and everybody knows. Except for the big boss man, who rarely drops by the office, who is a devout family and religious man. I keep waiting for updates to see when and how it will blow up. I readied the popcorn. The office host slept her way to the top. She slept with the general manager, who got fired. She stayed. If anyone talked about it, she would be on them. She didn't like any gossiping about her. Our idea won't make money. That there's this one guy who has a huge big dick. His name is Jim. Some men in the office say they've seen it in the men's room and can confirm. Never seen him, or it. But his name gets read out on the loudspeaker all the time. And every time it does, everyone looks at each other like, yeah, that's the guy. That if you don't follow the basic guidelines, and I mean basic like arriving on time and actually doing work, you might get reprimanded. But that's it. Nothing will happen. Nobody gets fired. Ever. I love my job, but damn. Sometimes I wish I could just leave my work ethics at home and stop giving a shit like half my co-workers. Also, that the recently divorced guy and the most definitely gay girl had a FWB thing going on for a couple months a while back. It's such an unlikely match that even when we openly mention it, everyone thinks we're joking. It's a lot of fun. That our manager likes to duck the employees despite being married and having a child. He gets quite upset when people that he wants to get with quit and he calls his favorites princess. It's quite disturbing. An ex-employee who still has a key to one of the entrance doors stops by at night from time to time to help himself to the money in the petty cash box. We have new security cameras, but we can't see the guy's face because he's pretty crafty. Why don't we change the locks? Because we're stupid. A guy snuck into 3 office on a Sunday, stripped down naked and filmed himself jacking off in the reception area with our company logo in the background. Somehow a friend of his tweeted the video at the company and he was let go the next day. Not sure why he did it, but there are a lot of rumors about the situation. Everybody knows that I sleep with all the hot girls. The one that's always in my office crying because everybody else is mean to her. The cute one from HR. The cute one from HR that replaced the other cute one from HR. The girl from the off shift. I've had my boss approach me about it a couple of times. The thing is, I don't. Ducking gossipy old hags. The studio assistant leaves the bathroom in horrifying disarray and doesn't wash his hands. Also, he doesn't actually have hands. Also, he's a cat. I work on a small defense contract for a big company working on unmanned aircraft. We have a guy here that occasionally unhooked cables or other trivial little things to cause issues that he then swoops in and fixes. I've outright caught his sabotage on one occasion. But I can't do anything about it because I found it while doing a workaround that I'm not technically allowed to do. Opening a server and discovering an fully unseated card which wouldn't allow the system to boot. Though he had booted the system earlier in the day. Unfortunately, because I'm not allowed to perform that type of maintenance, I couldn't go on the record about what I had found. He's done stuff like this on multiple occasions. Changing obscure settings that he magically remembers to check if something goes wrong. Immediately lining to out of the way cables that have miraculously loosened themselves etc. etc. I want to do violence to him. The former medical director and other doctors from a clinic I worked at were stuck in New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina. They had been there for a medical conference. They spent the entire couple weeks they were stranded there in the hotel bar smoking and getting drunk on the company dime. And when they returned, the medical director was given an award from our clinic for her outstanding service to the New Orleans community during the hurricane. 2 of our co-workers, both women in their 50s, are very clearly in a long-term relationship and have been for years. They own property together in Hawaii. They travel the world together. They are very obviously a couple. But at work it has never been acknowledged openly. I have worked with them for 6 years now. And before I got here they had both been here for at least 20 years. A lot of comments about cheating. Let me tell you all. From experience. I dated a girl from work. She broke it off. She had slept with almost all of the guys from work. Don't get your honey where you get your money. Also, most people knew